gonna throw on the I'll throw on the draft while I load up the match here. If you want to run over those, let's go. So
Yeah, so we're gonna have the second match from the gold division, though. This is gonna be a couple of big boys here. It's gonna be Beanie versus HuNu. From if we're going straight into the draft, HuNu bans Redwoods and restricts TN, as Beanie bans Library and Modern and restricts Modern. Sorry. Uh, I'm not exactly 100% sure on the tendencies on these players. I'm maybe more personally, I'm maybe more familiar with Beanie since have seen them play recently. That of course their biggest success is the I think 2021 Summer Cup semifinals where they lost to Legorv. I think that's their best competitive success so far. I'm not 100% sure about HuNu. Come back to picks. HuNu doubles Galar, which I'm excited to see, and Beanie doubles Ballroom. So, as if they picked my two favorite venues to cast. I love this already. And to round out the draft, HuNu singles Modern and Beanie singles Terrace. If you have, what do you think, like, in terms of venue-wise, pick/ban-wise, maybe you have a little bit more intuition than I do on these players.
yeah, I think at this division and up, we're gonna tend to see some more 4 and 5 of 8 venues and less of the smaller ones. So the Terrace pick is a little bit surprising due to that. I feel like with the 4 and 5 of 8s, personally, there's less chance in those, so the players are gonna really want to put the control in their own hands. But Terrace does come out, and Terrace is an interesting option. I think it's the only, if I recall, it's the only venue where the sniper knows who the double agent is, so it has some uniqueness there. But yeah, not surprising to see Gallery, Modern, and Ballroom as the other 4 venues that make it through the drafting. HuNu been around for a while, Beanie both been around for a while. These players, they're in gold at this point, so they've been playing quite a bit. Both great players. I play both of them, I think, in my next 2 matches is HuNu and Beanie personally, so I'm going to try to pay a lot of attention on top of casting to what they're doing. A little bit of casting and opponent research. 2 birds, 1 stone.
2 birds, 1 stone indeed.
So I have the first round here as Beanie Irish.
True, I'm ready.
Yeah, let me just make sure I've got... Okay, got scoreboard updated, and we'll start in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Okay. Not exactly remember what tendencies these are from both of the players. As far as I personally remember, Beanie was on the really good sniper with some maybe a little bit unorthodox play on the spy side, but usually pretty standard. I'm not familiar with HuNu, as we pick up a 49% for it, which is always nice to start on Gallery.
Yeah, we do have 2 different Beanies in the competitive scene. I know that either one or both of them has really high green test ratings. Is one of the points that I remember, but Beanie starting out with a 49% flirt, which is just fine. Goes out for the briefcase out front. Takes a first fingerprint. Good early progress.
It was a difficult fingerprint, but we do hit it. Those green tests, as you called, on point.
Yeah, it really looks like HuNu's staring down this reject chain, right? They're really zooming in at the back, and we have a reject from Salmon. It's going to go to the Ambassador. Ambassador rejects, so no fingerprint available on the tray.
It's so nice to see that if Seduce is done already from Beanie's side. And we were 245 in the floors done. That's really good since flirt and contact can be surprisingly hard to find on Gallery sometimes, especially contact.
There's only 2 conversation circles in this venue. They're very far away, and there's a ton of other pads that can pull the AIs onto them. So, as you had mentioned, flirt and contact sometimes a little bit difficult, especially contact on this venue to get past as a spy.
Yeah, you usually won't see an early contact because that usually gives away quite a lot of lowlights, and especially on the higher level of play, in giving up that many lowlights makes it very difficult to try to finish missions. So we do step out of that conversation finally.
Yeah, we're gonna go out to the front. Double agent leaves, so this is, you know, part of the issue we're talking about with this venue. We're gonna snuggle right up next to the ambassador, likely force them away so that we can take this briefcase and finish up that second mission. Double agent returns. I'd love to see a green contact into a briefcase split.
Yeah, that could also be a play.
In the end
Oh no! And Duke steals the briefcase outright from under us. Oh no. I know Beanie was going to go for that. Beanie was definitely going to pick up that case and do the split.
One cool play you could do as well, you can pick up a fingerprint, that briefcase, and while you're picking it up, you can do a green banana bread at the same time while we're still paused, and then move out to the
Beanie electing for the safer option, right? Because if you pick up that briefcase and go for the contact and it's a white, then you're standing and talking with the briefcase in your hand. So went for the green and then likely the pickup. Doesn't work out. Is there still a fingerprint on this statue from earlier? It doesn't appear that there is. But I think that Beanie was hoping that there was. If I recall, I think the ambassador started there? I could be wrong.
Yeah, but I think, yeah, you're right. The ambassador started there. There is another fingerprint statue there, but... we'll go for the green pearl. Yeah, green pearline.
Yeah, Beanie just really putting on the pressure with all of these green tests, just nailing them. Picks up the highlight. We'll see what happens with the list here. Reject. Goes to General. General does the take. It's a bit covered, and HuNu was more so watching the statues. List is now gone, but HuNu's on top of it. Takes the shot. I think almost shot Wheels in the face as he passed by.
Yeah, it seems like, yeah, Wheels tried to do a Mr. President get down, but we managed to avoid having collateral damage in the end. So I think that was the highlight mainly because we were in that conversation circle for so little and we did a reject.
That was a pretty quick reject, right? Yeah, very quick.
Yeah, so for basically, especially since if HuNu knows that Irish has one fingerprint, that could be a signal, just like, oh my god, that could be a Perlin as well. So
yeah, and realistically, if you look at this point in the game, when they're going for this reject and this highlight comes off, the ambassador's not in any danger. So it's end of game, right? The spy's going for something. The ambassador's not in any danger. Nobody's at statues. So what's the other hardtail that you watch? The guest list. So HuNu having great presence of mind, knowing what they need to watch at the tail end of the game here, and I think catches Beanie for that quick reject and leave from the list, which ultimately leads to the shot.
Yeah, and I think we're going to the next game. SCL on HuNu side is by this time. If you're ready, I'm gonna count out in 3, 2, 1. Play that. It feels good to count out sometimes.
Longer spy control here from HuNu. Still not taking control. Okay. Goes for the safe play.
Yeah, sometimes you can even see, like, especially a higher play, like highlights for aggressive take controls. It's it's usually rare because not many people are willing to give suspicion for relatively minute detail like that, but
it's actually very powerful. If you're kind of mid-level, most spies aren't really thinking about it. As a sniper, just zoom out, sit back for the first 5 seconds, and look for someone that does a really hard redirect. Because they're probably not going to be going for bugs. Don't worry about it. Look for the hard redirects from take controls. You'll catch a lot of people.
We have 51% flirt and fingerprint, so solid start progress-wise. Really nice to see. Seduction target does pick up a highlight, I guess, for the print, but we don't have a fingerprint. We were in the back of the conversation there when we picked up that case, so maybe we weren't seen. So that'd be really powerful if Beanie missed that fingerprint there at the back.
Yeah. Seduction target comes right to us. We pick up a flirt to 85%, and then the seduction target does us another favor and runs away. So we're just hanging out and getting decent progress.
Yeah, if you can do good progress while basically not doing much, like not moving much, rather, it always feels nice to see. But I guess we're trying to go for the DA here, but the double agent leaves the conversation and goes to the window pad. Oh, interesting to see that Texas has a drink outside, which is, I think it's a very rare chance that that happens.
Yeah,
And
it's
usually,
rare, but it does happen. Obviously.
yeah. Oh, we do go for a white banana bread.
Banana bread.
Finally goes off. That's
Yeah,
one,
decent
two.
contact, handful of lowlights. Boots starts talking after it goes off, so it makes her look a little bit more suspicious. We're still in our talk animation, but it wraps up as the sniper zooms out. And HuNu is eyeing up the ambassador, but doesn't go for any kind of bug.
I'm wondering if this is all random cast because Ambassador is Rocker, which usually you don't tend to see.
Yeah,
It's
it
usually
appears that it is.
Interesting. I think it was a little bit of an interesting path there, but not noticed regardless because we do finish the flirt. So. Again, one fingerprint left and one hardtail, I guess. One mission minute left. A little bit of a deja vu from the previous game, actually. And we're gonna got to go Pearly as well. Boots is rejecting, and we do request. We do a white test.
White test fade is clearly visible on screen. We'll see if Beanie thought about it. They did notice it. They did notice the fade. Takes the confident shot onto Teal correctly, tying up the match 1-1.
I think that if that fade wasn't seen and we just saw the list, I'm not exactly sure if we're being shot immediately because Boots had quite a lot of suspicion right from the start and was a highlight as well. So
Yeah, probably would have just been watched instead of shot.
yeah, I think so. That's the case. But we still need to have a print in less than 40 seconds, which usually is pretty dicey. So we step into the next game. If you want to introduce the you this time.
Yeah, we'll be stepping in with Beanie as Disney here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Disney, a lot of people call it Disney. I usually prefer Bond. And personal reason maybe is because when you're trying to remember things, as we had another green test for 51%, when you're trying to remember who was, let's say, at statues, at Purloin, whatever, it's usually easier to have one syllable as a character. So I usually.
What, you don't prefer Andrew Ryan as it's listed in the stream controller?
No. I mean, you could call it AR, but that's also 2 syllables, and AR is also a gun, so I don't think that's the ideal name to call us. We step into the bookcase. I think that's the first time that we tried to do that. Oh, the hurt turn was slightly visible, even though it was a green, but
Yeah, head
I
turn
think
was
we're
pretty
clean.
noticeable, but we look to have gotten away with it, as you said.
yeah. So far, they haven't tried going bookcase yet in this set, so maybe that's just a change up a little bit. It's like, hey, maybe the sniper won't be watching the transfer at this very moment and be focused on other things. So again, we're going to the DA, no, but there's no conversation. Basically,
No
space
room.
left there.
Yeah.
Yeah, room. Which is usually a real bummer. You sometimes see the spy failing to get into the conversation circle and doing a merry dance about it.
Banana bread.
It is a white banana bread. Got a lot of, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 lowlights. For gallery, this is really good.
Yeah, great for gallery. Only 4. That's not a ton, but we are a little bit pressed for time here. 51% contact. We have the green microfilm, but that's the easier of the two, right? Blue is the hard one to get that second action test on.
And flirt as well. Usually not a problem with 2 minutes left, but on big venue like gallery where there's a lot of pads and sometimes the seduction target can be hard to track down. It can be a problem, especially if we don't hit that green test. On the green test on the flirt, that is.
We do go for the difficult fingerprint on the blue bookcase. We're on the far right side of the pad, which hides our right arm inside of the wall. So what the sniper is going to need to notice here is more of the head turn. We do land the green test on the blue blue microfilm. We seem to have gotten away with it. Beanie just landing so many green tests. It's crazy.
Oh, are we close? Oh, we do get a highlight.
Yeah, interesting
And we-
highlight.
And then continue to hit this green flirts. It is.
Reverse drive by bug spot. The ambassador doesn't want to help us out, goes around the other side of the conversation. I think Beanie would have went for that reverse drive by and possibly gotten away with it.
Yeah, we have a lot of we have a lot of cover from that side, especially. So I don't think that arm would have been visible at all. Even the same side would, but even though
Goes
it's
for
not
the
really
purloin. They really need
It
the
is a white
green
test.
here. It is a white test. HuNu should notice it here pretty soon. Maybe a little more focused on the statues.
There's no shot. No shot
Wow,
goes
and
off.
Beanie just gets away with a white purloin right in the face of the sniper. I think HuNu just more focused on other stuff, I suppose. We did have some danger with the ambassador down here at the bottom, and we had 2 people at statues, right? So very different than the other game where the purloin had happened with a safe ambassador and nobody at statues. We can see here, that really panning out. When your ambassador's in danger and there's people at statues and the time's ticking down, it's much harder for the sniper to split their attention and watch all of the hard tell, mission spots.
Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a lot of heat, especially since that highlight, which seemed like we were trying to snuggle up as close to Queen as possible. It was a little bit of an awkward bounce, but doesn't seem that way. And Beanie gets away with a spy win. I think this is the first spy win this set, and goes up 2-1.
Yeah, we'll see if HuNu can answer back as Alice in 3, 2, 1, playing.
The old debate whether to call her Alice or Ponytail. I guess you can call her Gloves if you're wrong. Oh, we hit the beautiful bug.
Oh wow, I didn't even spot it. We're gonna have to look at that in the replay. There was so much commotion. I don't think Beanie noticed it either.
Yeah, that bug looked super clean from the cyber spot, especially on how chaotic the start was. We're gonna go for this fingerprint and briefcase. That is, indeed, we are. A lot. Oh, we do pick up a highlight for it though.
Yeah, first briefcase pickup is actually like a really, I feel like it's a really common move in a lot of like play in this division and above, because it's really good mission progress that isn't flirt, and it's usually hard to notice, but because it's so good, it's become more noticeable, right? So it's that kind of back and forth.
Yeah, it's from watching on casting games, especially, like let's just say from between like Iron and above, you tend to see like first briefcase highlights. Oh, what a awkward path. Fortunate. Seems we're fine for now.
Yeah,
no
awkward
flare
path,
happening.
but we don't have a way to know because they're already highlit, right? So it's like we don't know what the suspicion level of HuNu is. We just know that they're highlit and suspicious, but we do pick up the first flirt for 27%. Progress is okay at this point.
Yeah, if you would have liked to see a green seduce 51%, I think it would have been a much better spot, especially with like 2 minutes, 2:10 left to go now. But yeah, fingerprint press. I guess I don't know if we survive fingerprint contact seduce though, especially with that highlight.
We really need some other characters to gain suspicion, so hopefully HuNu is keeping track of what the other cast members are doing and needs to keep in some of those statue touchers when the contact does go off.
But it doesn't seem that statue holders are being highlighted for now, because there's only 3 highlights besides the ambassador. It's Small Mansari and us, and with the statue touchers, I think only statue completionists get a highlight, but not touchers. I suppose some other players might do that.
Yeah, that's pretty common here, is that the highlight will go for people that are finishing the inspect mission rather than getting partial. But I still think that in the sniper's mind, there is some more suspicion on those characters for having gone to statue at all.
Oh, and a little bit of bad luck for HuNu. Just the seduction target leaves right as the flirtation cooldown expires. That's always painful as a player.
And the end of red.
Here we go with the real contact into the split. A lot of people out of conversation. Beanie doesn't immediately start taking the lowlights. They want to watch what happens immediately after the contact, to see if it's a purloin, to see if there's a bug or some kind of quick action that they're trying to hide. So pauses for a moment, which is great. HuNu splits, but doesn't get the low light.
We really need to hit this green test, but it's white, 93%.
27 seconds left. We only need 2 more missions. Flirt could be one of them, and the second could have been a fingerprintable statue here from the ambassador, but that flirt is really just going to kill us. We're going to step in. We're going to pick up the flirt. We're going to finish it. We've got to call Toby over. Here's the request from Toby. Sniper
5 seconds
really
left.
watching for the sniper watching for the swaps. It's a mission when pending. This is great. I think great news for HuNu because I'm not sure that the reject was seen. Beanie was very focused on this front statue swap. List is taken by a low light, and Beanie's on top of it. Goes for the shot on Alice. Really splitting hairs here.
Yeah,
Could
Beanie. Yeah,
easily shoot
Beanie's on
Rocker.
top of it. Yeah.
Look how close that
Yeah,
is
I
to
guess-
Rocker's head.
Yeah, definitely close, but maybe there's a cute play, especially if Rocket doesn't pick up early. Since Kane was just finishing statues, we're gonna maybe try to swap for that, but that would rely on the purloin not being off.
Pending. Yeah. I think,
Pending, yeah.
HuNu goes for the. HuNu could have danced here. Take that list and start dancing and hope for the best.
I mean, true. If Legorov can dance with Taft, I'm pretty sure HuNu can dance with Alice as well. that have been cool to see, at least an attempt there. But in any case, Beanie takes the first lead of this.
Yeah,
3-1.
3-1, stepping into ballroom, which is huge. So Beanie joining in as Rocker. Where's Rocker? There we are. Rocker Spy with the lead in 3, 2, 1, playing it. So, you know, as Beanie here, like if you have a really confident sniper, all you got to do is just keep sniping and you can win the whole set, right? You just really need 1 spy win and a really strong sniper. So Beanie's in a pretty comfortable position. This is all just kind of icing on the cake. Like, I don't think Beanie's stressed if they don't get a spy win here. You try, of course, but it's not a big deal if you get shot.
Yeah, true. And between like, oh, what a path, center statues. But especially against like when 2 really good snipers come in, usually, especially even on the longer sets, 1 spy game, well, it's 1 spy one might be all there is, basically separating them. So
Yeah, very very common that happens. We pick up the highlight for the center statue touch, which is fairly common on ballroom, right? Beanie starting out with a lot of early suspicion.
yeah, but again, this is a little bit of reverse what happened, or a little bit antithetical, I guess. Since last 2 spy games were relatively slow started, but we immediately pick 1 like soft tail mission right off the gate. Oh, a rare white test for the Fleur Beanie. For 33%, still good, but I'm just so used to seeing Beanie hitting greens flirts at this point that it caught me off guard.
Yeah, really high green test. We're gonna
Any in the
go
red.
for a. Oh, that's a real contact. It looks like Smallman
No,
stepped in.
that's no SDA. Smallman's SDA. DA is hair or opera.
Oh, it is. Yeah, you're correct. So fake contact, but unfortunately the SDA is in conversation with us, and it's the only one. So while Beanie was trying to lose suspicion for that, they likely shot up very high on the suspicion list as one of the only 2 people that could have a real contact.
Yeah, unfortunately, that contact, well, fake contact that is, might be. You said shot up in usage. You could say like shot up ourselves in the foot here a little bit as well.
Yeah.
Luckily, Kane goes back to the basically same conversation we are. Could be seen as flirt chasing, but so far no talk, so I don't think that's a worry for HuNu. And a minute left, again, minute 10, sorry, and again, we're requesting after a quick reject.
Yep, goes for a white purloin. We'll see how HuNu responds. The list is clearly taken. The fade is visible. HuNu takes a shot on Beanie to bring the score to 3-2. So fairly expected here. I think Beanie's fine with it.
Yeah, unfortunately, that fake contact really put a lot of heat on us. It was pretty unlucky since the conversations were quite full. I think there's only a couple lowlights from that, but we were one of two people that could have gotten real for that. And since there was no second BB, we couldn't have. Anyways, let's go on to the next game.
Yep, we'll have HuNu as Bling Twin in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Really looking for a spy win here. HuNu very much needs this spy win to really bring the set back. It seems like it's not that important because the score is only 3-2, but at this level of play, you can expect a majority of sniper wins. A little bit of a weird animation from Pearls there.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, early highlights for us.
A lot of statue touches here in the beginning. A swap may actually be pretty decent, but yeah, HuNu picking up a highlight, oddly enough. Not sure what for. Did we pull a book out quickly?
I don't think quickly, but we did pull a book out, but I'm not sure how quick that was, really. Maybe just for early book rip. That could be also a highlight, and quite direct path towards the conversation circle. That could be seen as a behavioral thing, so like, oh, a spy would good, and a quick talk probably as well. We're going back to we're not gonna put this book back wrong, we're gonna put it right.
Yeah, good cover to go for the microfilm animation if HuNu wants to do it.
It seems like we're being watched for it, though.
Yeah, here we go for the transfer. It is a green test. It is pretty visible on screen, but it looks like Beanie is more so watching for the bug there at that angle, zooming in on some of the hands. So HuNu getting away clean with the microfilm transfer. Green still needs to be completed as we step in for another flirt up to 82%.
Yeah, we have some progress, but considering we are highlight for not that much progress, and we could be considered, I guess, one of the stronger highlights. It doesn't bode well again for HuNu, feels like.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if that highlight is more for tracking or if it is actual suspicion, because if so, HuNu's in a pretty bad position as there's only 1:20 left, your highlight with only, a little bit of progress. Contact going off here. It is going to be a white test.
In the end of red.
Pretty decent contact. I think the 3 people out, but we do take 2 out of 3. Pearls was also out of conversation, but we don't lowlight her. As we step into the green bookshelf, we are being watched for it. I guess we have a camera angle also for the ambassador, but that also includes us being watched for this potential transfer as well.
And pretty spy-like timing to leave that conversation, right? It's like once the spy finishes the contact, they have no reason to be there, so they go ahead and leave. We do go for the microfilm. It is fairly visible on screen. Beanie notices and takes the shot to bring the score to 4-2.
Yeah, just especially that green action microfilm. Not green, on the green bookshelf, that is. It's usually very hard to get away on ballroom because there's usually very little cover in there. The blue one you can usually get away with if there's cover, but green is super hard. And Beanie just doesn't have any of it and takes the correct shot.
Yeah, and then we'll have Beanie stepping in as Tex in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Goes for the early bug. Accidentally gets low lit as being the too close to the ambassador, which they were going for a bug, but seems to have gotten away with it.
Gotten away with the attempt. We didn't get away with actually completing a mission. Yeah, I don't think we're very suspicious thus far. I think we're low lit because we're trying to low light our SDAs, and Tex's big hat got in the way. How can he see from that thing? I don't know. Or you could call... I wanted to call it a sombrero, but that's not really a sombrero.
No, I think it's more just a cowboy hat.
As Beanie starts off with the green book Shilasev, I wonder... There's a lot of action near Ambassador. And HuNu was quite zoomed in. But no, we decided to rip the book out this time. Fortune seduction target is not near, starts to go to Sasha, so we can't get a flirt, sadly.
Yeah, and really no progress yet. We've got the green book in hand. We can, probably gamble on the fact that Beanie's going to put it into the blue case, but Technically no progress yet. We're just hanging out in the back. No option to take the purloin because we have the book, and reverse drive by, you know, a little bit limited from one of the angles.
Yeah, that's usually that's a downside of taking a book, which may not be immediately apparent, but you lock yourself out of so many options usually as spy. You can't do reverse drive bugs. You can't go to you can't do porno. You can't do statues. Again, bugs also are limited, so we do pick up this case at least, and really hit a green test with 51%, but again, not a lot of progress of how much time we have.
Yeah, those two pieces of progress were pretty good, right? You typically will see the spies make little bits of progress
Banana bread.
along many missions at the same time, but we do go for a fake contact, which is very interesting. It's a pretty good contact. There's only 2 low lights that seem to have come off. We'll see what Beanie's going to do with it, as I expect them to probably get a move on, though it seems they're timer flirting, so maybe finish up flirt, drop the book, find a fingerprint, and then a hardtail.
We can't time it for because Boots has left our station and
Oh, yeah.
not going anywhere near us. So it seems, I guess we're gonna try to go maybe for that. It's so risky, I feel like, going for the bug and transfer at that back book or ambassadors at the same time. But it seems like almost have to do it because 45 seconds are on the clock. We are going for a bug, reverse.
And it was a reverse, which was great. So we're actually on the right side of the ambassador, so it made it a lot harder to notice that bug that was coming off. So we'll definitely show that in the replay from the spy side. A great bug that we get away with, but HuNu's a little suspicious of it for some reason. We still need a fingerprint and 51% flirt. This is going to be very hard to wrap up as the spy, despite the great bug.
Yeah, the finger. Oh, we're chasing our seduction target. We're hoping that she doesn't leave. It's a green test, but she leaves. Oh no, 10 seconds left. This is an absolute disaster. We're gonna have to try to time ad. But
Yeah,
no,
we're gonna have to get a green. Oh, we request the drink. Oh, get the time ad. Is it gonna come off? It doesn't come off.
Oh, that is so unfortunate.
Yeah, and it was a very clutch green test too to get that flirt. I guess we should have tried to go for the time ad before going for the flirt here, because with 6 seconds, yeah, there's just no way that's ever gonna come off. You know, it takes a little bit of time to get the watch check as well. So very unfortunate as Beanie lands some of those clutch green tests in those final moments, but just simply runs out of time. Let's take a look at that bug really quick.
Yeah, that bug was relatively clean from the sniper side as well. HuNu still I think HuNu still credits it.
Yeah, so the spy here is staying to the left of the ambassador so that when they press the bug action, it will trigger the right arm, because technically that's the one that's closest when they press the button. So you press it, and then right afterwards you start turning the other way, so your character, you know, kind of goes around them. So this wrong arm bug, which ends up being pretty hard to notice on the sniper side in this scenario. You can see it for just a moment, but with all of the other chaos, HuNu doesn't catch it.
I think we're still credited. I think for either the bug or the transfer though. So I think that was what the highlight was for. I'm not sure for either of which. Maybe for both, but in any case, HuNu picks up another sniper win, and still looking for that spy win.
Yeah, we'll see if they can get it. Stepping in as teal in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Small man ambassador. You love and/hate to see it.
Yeah, so HuNu's definitely just got to be doing a random cast, which, I don't know. Just do random and then switch the ambassador. It's still pretty random at that point, but...
I mean, I guess maybe learning that from Dells. Dells also is the player known to do random casts, at least recently.
Interesting choice, especially because the Smallman ambassadors, I don't know if there's a scenario where that's good.
Yeah, he can. Smallman's a slow character, so prints aren't going to be as prevalent as we do go for a contact, an early contact, and it's a pretty good one. I think we no lowlights are taken. Oh, couple. There's 3 lowlights taken, so not too bad, especially for how early it is. And we do pick up another floor for 85%. So, oh yeah, back to my point on small man ambassador. They're very slow, so usually not a lot of prints on the map, typically, because you want a fast character for that. They're also, as the name implies, small, which is usually a spy is something of a blessing, but one ambassador, it's very hard to hide your hand inside of them, especially compared to someone like Taft. So, interesting, peculiar choice, let's just say.
Yeah, it could be difficult for HuNu to get a bug off on this, which gives the sniper a little bit of alleviation. HuNu just kind of hanging out in a conversation, doing a bit of idling, 85% contact is done. On this venue, this progress is okay. It's not cause for concern as of yet, and we did have Salmon who grabbed the middle statue. We haven't seen any direct frame attempts yet.
Yeah, maybe also part of the prep, knowing how good, especially snipers, Beanie has been thus far this set. It would be hard to get away with the frame this early on. Against these type of players, I presume. And speaking of center statues, we are the ones who are also entering center statues. Could this be a Inspect's green swap play?
I don't expect it. I think we're gonna get the inspects. We do go for the green swap. It is pending, so we'll see how Beanie is going to react. We've got 2 other lowlights on the board. Salmon not really doing much. We do have the other highlight taking a drink. That would have been great if they took the drink while the swap was going off. I think Hunu's gonna need to do something here. Maybe call a drink and pull attention.
Salmon is the one who goes. Salmon's the one who goes.
Perfect. Salmon picks up the statue. We'll see if he can notice the fade. The fade is clearly a green. Beanie was obviously watching, takes the shot on HuNu.
Yeah, but, it was pretty lucky that Salmon was the one to pick up the statue. He's probably the second most suspicious person at that time. But fade was clearly seen, and snipers of this caliber you very rarely mistake fades, and that's a correct shot from Beanie.
Yeah, so when the statue is swapped, if it's a green test, it fades a bit faster. It does like a very snappy, quick switch to the other one. When it's a white test, the fade is slower. So Beanie being able to tell the difference between the 2 fade animations and can deduce that it has to have been teal. I think it would have maybe been better if a low light went, and then you just hope that the sniper's not watching it at all.
Yeah, that could have been. Yeah, that could be a case. Could be an argument as well. You can there's an argument in both cases, but in any case, Beanie finds the correct shot, and it's still up 5-3.
Yeah. Now Beanie stepping into Modern as Smallman in 3, 2, 1, Planet.
It's a Smallman upgraded from the Ambassador right to the Spy. Well, upgraded, I guess, in the terms of, well, not upgraded, I guess, if you're gonna get more likely to be shot. I guess that's more of a curse. As we do go to a bookcase and hit another green for 51%.
Yeah, Beanie's action test rating this game is just insane.
I think, was it like 1 white test, I think? Maybe this entire set thus far, maybe 2. It's really good. It's really great to see.
Are we gonna go for the? Oh, I was wondering if he was gonna go for the animation right in the center conversation there.
Yeah, we wouldn't have much cover, but that sometimes is actually a good thing because a sniper, usually people have blind spots, especially, and in the place that obvious to do a transfer, no sniper would be watching that. So sometimes it is cool to see that people go to the place, but Beanie decides against it, maybe for the better.
Yeah, I expect this book, at this point, this book's probably going to go in a blue or a green case. Beanie just hanging out in this conversation, doing some idling. No flirt going on. No contact options. We do have an ambassador across from us, so you can do some cheeky plays like a fake contact and then just run over and bug the ambassador and run back. But Beanie elects to go for some safer options and steps over towards the green bookcase. So probably a flirt, contact, split into book dump.
Yeah, another green test. I mean, I don't think I should hype up green tests anymore, especially from Beanie, since I don't think they missed a single one yet. Oh, the double target agent leaves, though. I guess that wouldn't have been an amazing context since quite a few are out of a circle
Yeah.
and only would have like 2 or 3 reels.
Yeah, Beanie playing it very safe and slow here, really doing quite a bit of idling in each conversation after they get what they want out of it.
Yeah, that's been their style, really, of this whole entire set. That we haven't seen too much aggressive plays from either of those. By aggressive, I mean like aggressive the mission finishing early. I guess that's what I maybe mean by that. Seems
Yeah.
reserved and not willing to rush things.
Well, they could definitely, have some timing issues if they don't necessarily need to rush down missions, but at least do something that is giving us progress each time. Like stepping into a bookcase, and he dumps it quickly. He doesn't even pause and read. He just walks over, throws it in, and walks away. Even though the ambassador is walking right by us at the time, I think we're so small, we just kind of hid behind the couch and got away with it.
Banana bread.
Indeed, it's very bold play. Green banana test does come out. It's gonna knock out some people. I think, but we're the only conversation has real though, because both of the other SDAs were out of conversation at that time.
Yeah, at this point, I think Beanie is relying on the fact that they've done so much idling that they're not a high-level suspect, so they can start doing some aggressive plays here in the end game and likely get away with it. We're now sitting at 3 of 4 missions complete. We've just got to find one more. Probably going to be something like a delegate, or we might just go ahead and go for this bug. We're walking by the ambassador, lining up the bug. We go for it. We get it. There's a lot of cover. It doesn't appear that HuNu's noticed. And we're standing by, letting the time tick down, and it looks like Beanie's going to take another spy win.
Yeah, that's a very good spy win. That was very interesting. Book dump immediately. Very bold play actually. To not even like do a reanimation, but just immediately dump that bug. But
Yeah.
it works out.
Yeah, I think the fact that we saw that book dump and that just very brazen bug. We just literally walked right towards the ambassador. It's obvious that Smallman is lining it up. There's really great cover. Even watching it in slow-mo, it is almost impossible to see because Boots is walking in sync with us and there's so many people in that conversation. So we really see why Beanie idled for the first half of that game, right? They just waited around and didn't want to gain any suspicion so that at the end of the game they could be aggressive and not get seen for it. So here's that book dump again. We walk up and we really just throw it in, even though the ambassador's walking right over the top of us. That's just that's so aggressive and crazy that he didn't get caught for that.
Yeah, just I guess that's what separates the really good players from like the great players, just knowing when to get aggressive, when to be passive, and Beanie just knows the correct timing to do that. Even though Ambassador's walking right beside us, we still get away with it.
Yeah, that was a really good spy round by Beanie and very scary. They really recognized that you can idle for a bunch and then do some really aggressive play. So great spy win by Beanie. We'll see if HuNu can get a spy win here on Modern to work towards the tie. At this point, the end result is either Beanie winning or they tie. So HuNu playing for the tie here in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, so far HuNu has been able to break Beanie's sniper. I mean, I want to say understandably so, since Beanie's sniper is definitely fierce. But if we want to get a tie, we're gonna have to do that 2 times in a row.
Yeah, Beanie
doesn't
just
sound pleasant.
Beanie's so strong this match. It's very frightening, right? Their spy is just green tests all over the place, and their sniper is just strong as well. So a very formidable opponent that I have to play soon, unfortunately.
Hey, at least you're getting all this free prep.
Yeah, I'm not really clocking any of this information though, unfortunately. I'll have to go back and rewatch the VODs.
I mean, fair enough. I mean, if I'm prepping for that, I don't only watch the cast as well. Yeah, well, I also have to do replay sniping / watching as well. As we do hit 2 green first, we're at 51% across the conversation, but still pretty decent progress. Going to the statues.
I like this early statue visit. The party's pretty spread out. There's kind of a bit going on. I'd like to actually just see a swap, just swap it and walk away. But it looks like HuNu's going to go for the safer option of getting the inspects.
yeah, we do finish a couple of inspects. No highlight comes out. I presume, yeah, you being the only highlight statue completions.
Yeah, I think HuNu, I'm sorry, Beanie is reserving their highlight for for actual suspicion and is just memorizing who's been to the actual statues.
And yeah, and considering they have highlights for bar, and if we would highlight for just partial completion on statues, that again that would put a lot of highlights to take watch over, which usually that's not something you want to see.
Yeah, these
Or do
snipers
that.
are very capable of just memorizing what they need to memorize. Maybe using the highlights to track one mission or just to track general suspicion. So, yeah, we'll see what Beanie makes of it. HuNu stepping over to the far right side of the venue to pick up a fingerprintable briefcase and goes for the return, but picks up a highlight along the way.
Yeah, uh, yeah. Again, that it wasn't this time the first fingerprint that now that's a highlight, but I guess it just Beanie really doesn't like people who bring beef cases, especially fresh ones. Oh yeah, speaking of highlights, I've noticed that Beanie highlights the Toby for like highlights and neutralizes Toby, the bartender there. Do you have like any idea?
Banana
Oh, so we
bread.
go for the banana bread here.
And
Do you have
contact comes
any?
off. Is he
Yeah,
alternating the lights on Toby?
yeah, alternating. I see it sometimes. Right now it's on. They're like a minute before it was off, and like 2 minutes before that it was on again. I'm
Um, I,
wondering what they're keeping track of.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure, but it's very likely related to the timing, right? Like, if there are drinks, you could do something like if there are people that are capable of doing purloin, you put it out there, you do a certain light level, so something related to the tracking. But yeah, it'd be interesting to ask Beanie about it.
Oh, I think like maybe I know why, because Ambassador was was at the bar to pick up a drink, and the highlight came out right after that, and after the two people after that, the neutral light came out. So maybe that's a way to track Prince on the bar, which would be interesting to see. As
Yeah,
would you delegate this time to the SDA as well?
yeah. So HuNu really looking to split attention here is going to pick up the statue to try and distract from this list being taken. The list is taken. We're going to finish up the inspect mission win countdown for 8 seconds. No swaps, so Beanie isn't taking the shot, and it really seems like we're about to get away with this.
Yeah, but that's the first win from Spy from HuNu. Very nicely done, actually. I wonder if maybe the list wasn't even seen. I guess I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think it was noticed, right? So HuNu, really pulling attention by grabbing the statues in the back. So Beanie has to start looking for the swap. Doesn't notice the list being gone, and especially because it's an SDA that does the take there. So Beanie missing the list there, and HuNu getting away with a spy win to bring it 6-4. And now this gets really interesting as we step into Terrace. Only 2 rounds left. It's very possible that HuNu can bring this back and get a tie here.
Yeah, Terrace is an interesting venue for especially at this moment, since especially on here you can really get away with. I feel like you can almost always get away with framing someone,
Yeah.
especially in this venue, especially at this time, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. There's no swap, but usually spies will never go for the swap unless they're very desperate. So 3 minutes 30 for like 3 missions, and then I can reasonably do that.
Yeah.
And, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say I expect to see some possible frames here, and it's also HuNu's pick, right? In the drafting, HuNu is the one that picked this venue, so a slight preference from HuNu to play it. So we'll see if they can really kind of bring it back here in the end. I'm excited to see how this pans out. So let's step into it with Beanie starting as teal in 3, 2, 1. Playing it.
Yeah. Well, let's see how are we gonna go for this bug here?
No,
we
no
are.
way.
We are.
Wow.
Oh,
wait. Oh, he did a Twitch bug, right? That was, and yeah, Twitch bug is shot. Good job, HuNu.
Yeah, good job indeed. I think that that movement wasn't really seen. I guess we're right beside the bottom block 4, but the ambassador leaves right as the snapback is slightly visible.
This is a very tricky bug. So this is really interesting. So if you bug the ambassador while you're standing, your character does this very obvious lean to the side, and it's very much noticeable from the sniper, and you get shot. So one thing that you can do is while you're standing next to the ambassador, you can trigger you can trigger the bug and start moving at the same time, and you do the walking animation bug, which doesn't have the significant lean to it. But your character does a little bit of a twitch movement, so that's also noticeable. In this instance, Beanie is up against the bar, so he tapped forward to get the walking animation, but doesn't have anywhere to go. So he actually is getting a moving bug without moving at all. There's no twitch to it. So the fact that HuNu caught this is insane. Only the snapback of the arm, I think, is the only reason this was seen.
It was at the very, very tail end of it, like 0.3 seconds later, and maybe you couldn't see it.
Yeah,
but HuNu, that's a very fantastic shot from HuNu.
I've never seen someone do a bug like this, a twitch bug up against the bar so that you get no twitch movement. So that would have been like the coolest bug I've ever seen if he didn't get shot for it. I mean, still a cool bug regardless, but crazy that
still a cool bug, yeah, but even a better shot.
Yeah.
A cooler bug, but even a cooler bug, and that brings the set 6-5. A fantastic shot from HuNu gives them a chance to get away with the tie, but they need to find the last spy game of the set on Terrace, so definitely possible, playing as Rocker in 3, 2, 1, play now. I'm excited to see that.
It all leads up to this moment. HuNu hopefully took a deep breath before this round, because they have a great opportunity here to bring it back to a tie. Playing it safe, starting out at a window pad. I don't expect a time ad here. Probably just going to step in and get a first flirt.
Yeah, especially with time with 3:30 on the clock, you're very rarely going to need. Even though that sometimes progress can be deceptively slow at times, I don't think you really need a timeout this early on, as we do hit a 51% bar.
It's an unnecessary risk, and HuNu has to win this round. So I expect to see like pretty safe play until HuNu, is forced to make a play that's not safe.
A timeout can be decent if you want some more time for AIs to possibly finish, let's say Prince or Inspect, etc. But usually it's gonna be, it's a very big risk, and very rarely a spy will ever go for it, unless they really need to.
Yeah, we'll see what happens here. There can be some like really interesting bugs on this venue that happen kind of between these two conversation circles with the amount of cover. So HuNu likely going to wait to see if one of those opportunities can present. Goes for the fake banana bread. So this is the only venue in the game where the sniper knows who the double agent is. So sometimes when there's a full conversation, you want to go for this banana bread because it frames everyone else in that other conversation. And it was a perfect banana bread. Nobody is outside. So HuNu will have to take another one later, but likely only to get, maybe a couple lowlights from it.
Yeah, we're stepping to our seduction target. A little bit of an awkward spot there, right behind them, but we do finish it. That's crucial.
Two flirt is huge. Now I don't think we can go for this contact like immediately, because if you notice, there's only one person that has switched conversations, which is the spy as Rocker. So it would be fairly obvious that we are the ones that are doing that, second contact. And double agent leaves combo anyways.
Oh, that is very unfortunate. I wonder, maybe there's I wonder if there's a possible framing angle of someone at bar, but we're not close to anyone at this. Oh, are we gonna go for a bug? No.
Oh, so aggressive. So aggressive to just go stand near the ambassador. The ambassador's space is not being invaded, so they're not forced to leave yet, but it does look like they just leave on their own accord. Yeah, we're going to need to go for that contact pretty soon. 45 seconds. I expect to see it soon, maybe after Kane takes this drink and rejoins, but, every second that HuNu waits to go for this contact is a bit more of a gamble that double agent could leave or that the conversation's empty out. I expect to see the contact as soon as as soon as Kane probably enters a conversation, but we're really running out of time for it. We go for the innocent talk. We may go with, and there's the banana bread. Unfortunately, Alice and Kane are outside of conversation. We have no third mission lined up. It's gonna have to be.
I think it's gonna be a bug. I think it has to be a bug.
It's got it, but the ambassador is in such a terrible spot for it. This is just such an obvious lineup. We go for the bug. You've got to go dance, but unfortunately, HuNu gets shot.
The only kind of dance we can do is the death dance as our body drops to the floor. And Beanie holds on the HuNu comeback and wins the set 7-5. Just a little, I guess. I'm not sure how to take away this last spy game. Maybe need a little bit more aggression. Maybe a sorry for this set, but I mean, and I'm not exactly 100% sure. And again, Beanie Sniper is so good that's it would be hard to get away with it, even if you do like almost absolutely perfectly.
Yeah, you know, kind of as I was saying, like I expect HuNu with all of the pressure of this last round to really wait to take the risks, right? Like you don't take the risk until you have to. Unfortunately, the risk that he was forced to take at the end was like a bug that is too obvious. So I guess maybe recognizing that something wasn't going to line up a little bit sooner and trying to go for a framed delegate or something of that nature, you know, could have been the play, but just such a hard situation to be in with the time running out, and there's just some things you don't have control over. So Beanie ends up capitalizing and wins the set 7-5 in a very close and intense match.
Yeah, and looking at the standings currently, Beanie is currently on top with 2 wins and no losses. So definitely looking like he's going to be the front runner of this group unless someone else is going to be looking to challenge that. So far, well, you haven't played any games and Rob still hasn't. Banakanta and HuNu played 1 game each, and those were as losses to Beanie.
Yeah,
So,
gold
definitely
will be interesting to see.
Oh, gold in my predictions was like when we had predictions was the hardest one to point out which one's gonna be going on or not. So it's definitely a tough division. I don't envy anyone playing in it.
Yeah, so more to come from the gold division and others. So definitely tune in next week. I think we're doing SCL casts every weekend. Check out the game on the YouTube channel. If you search SpyParty, there's tons of these VODs. We also have a Twitch channel that is streaming competitive sets 24/7. The channel is called 24007, so in the SpyParty category. This was the SpyParty Competitive League Season 7. Joining me today was Wrestler. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Awesome.
It was a joy to cast.
And we'll see everyone next week. Thank you.
Until then, fare thee well.